Track 1. Copyright. Outcomes Intermediate Students Book by Hugh Della and Andrew Walkley. Published by National Geographic Learning. A part of Cengage Learning. Copyright 2016. 1.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Alfie.
Hey, Holly. How's it going?
Yeah, okay, thanks. I'm a bit nervous, though, to be honest.
Yeah? Why?
I don't know. You know, first class, new people.
Yeah, I remember that feeling. Don't worry, you'll be fine. It'll be fun.
So, have you studied here before?
Yeah, last term.
Oh, really? Okay, and did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Our teacher was brilliant. Really great. So patient and helpful, you know. So, what about you? How long have you been learning French?
For about 3 years now, I guess, but just on my own at home, using the internet.
Yeah? Have you learned much?
Well, my reading has improved, and I've learnt quite a lot of vocabulary, but I really need to practice my speaking more, you know? That's why I'm here. What about you? Why are you learning?
Well, I'd like to be a translator, and French is an official EU language and UN language. So, you know.
Wow, okay.
2.
So, what did you make of that session?
Well, it was, different, wasn't it?
I'm glad I'm not the only person that didn't really enjoy it.
So, what's your name then? Where are you based?
Oh, I'm Noah.
Juliana. Hi.
Hey, and I'm originally from Canada, from Halifax, but I'm working in Santiago now.
Oh, really? Nice. How long have you been there?
A couple of years now. Do you know it? Have you been there?
Yeah, loads of times. I'm from Mendoza, just the other side of the mountains. We can drive there in 5 or 6 hours. Great city.
I like it, yes.
What are you doing there? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm a researcher. Attached to the university there. I'm doing work on climate change.
Wow, interesting. And are you presenting at the conference?
Yeah, I was on yesterday, actually. What about you?
No, goodness. The whole idea really scares me. I don't think I could do it. I'm happy just attending and going to the talks. Track 2. 1.
Do you know it? Do you know it?
2.
Did you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it?
3.
Have you studied here before? Have you studied here before?
4.
Where are you based? Where are you based?
5.
What are you doing there? Are you working? What are you doing there? Are you working?
6.
How long have you been learning French? How long have you been learning French?
Track 3. 1.
Do you know it?
2.
Do you enjoy it?
3.
Have you studied here before?
4.
Where are you based?
5.
What are you doing there? Are you working?
6.
How long have you been learning French?
Track 4. 1. What are you studying?
Media studies.
All right. What does that involve? I've never heard of that subject.
Really? It's quite popular here. You study everything about TV, newspapers, and advertising. Some of it's practical and some of it is more theoretical, almost like philosophy. It's really interesting.
2.
Have you studied here before?
No, never.
How long have you been studying English?
For about 5 years now, but only for 2 hours a week.
3.
What do you do when you're not studying?
I love movies and reading, and I'm really into music. I play the guitar in a band.
Oh, really? What kind of music are you into?
Garage, punk and rock and roll.
4.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I've got one older sister.
Do you get on with her okay?
Yeah, really well. We're very close. 5.
What did you do at the weekend?
Nothing much. I went shopping on Saturday, but that's all.
Oh, right. Did you get anything nice?
Yeah, I did actually. I got this really nice jacket in the market.
6. What do you do?
I'm a computer programmer.
Oh, yeah? Who do you work for?
A small educational technology company in the centre of town.
Track 5. 1.
I was in town and I was walking down the main street and 2 Chinese guys came up to me and stopped me. They showed me a business card and pointed at a map on their phone. They just said, "Donde, donde? Where?" So I said in Chinese, "I don't know." They first looked really surprised, and then they started talking really fast, and I didn't catch anything at all. I asked them to slow down, and then, with a mixture of my bad Chinese and gesture, I explained they had put the wrong postcode in the phone and they needed to go to another part of the city. I was quite proud of myself. After 3 years of study, it was actually the first time I'd spoken to anyone Chinese outside of my class, and it really motivated me. Since then, I found someone to practice with.
2. I'm Brazilian, so I speak Portuguese, but I speak German at home. People are interested when they find out, but they're amazed when I say my parents are from Russia and Turkey. They say, "Wow, how's that?" Well, they first met when they were both working on a cruise ship. He worked in the engine room and she was a cabin cleaner. The ship's crew had a kind of party each week, and they met there. My mom said Dad was a really good dancer, which I find very difficult to believe. Anyway, neither spoke each other's language, but my mom had worked in Germany before, and Dad knew German from school, so that's how they communicated. They chose to settle in Rio because the cruises usually stopped here, and when they were married, they often had a short holiday here. They also said it saved them arguing about whose country to live in. 3.
I'm a sound engineer on a National Geographic show called Beast Hunter. We go all over the place in search of unusual wild animals, and we often need the support of local people to act as guides or cooks for the film crew. I always try to learn a bit of their language to, just connect somehow. Anyway, last year we were filming in Sumatra in the middle of a forest, looking for orangutans. And one time, at dinner, I was talking to the guide and I tried to ask about the people of the inner forest. But apparently, I asked about people with tasty insides. I thought the guide looked a bit worried, and then later I found out that the presenter of the program had previously tried to thank him for the meal, and instead of saying the food's really delicious, had said, "I'm eating a child." Who knows what they thought of us?
Track 6. 1. He was travelling around Europe by train. He was travelling around Europe by train. 2. People were getting off the train. People were getting off the train. 3. When he was leaving the station. When he was leaving the station. 4. Because he'd left his bag on the train. because he'd left his bag on the train. 5. But it had gone. But it had gone. 6. And was sitting there crying. And was sitting there crying. 7. What had happened? What had happened? 8. He was still living with his family, you see. He was still living with his family, you see. Track 7. 1. He was travelling around Europe by train. 2. People were getting off the train. 3. When he was leaving the station. 4. Because he'd left his bag on the train. 5. But it had gone. 6. And was sitting there crying. 7. What had happened? 8. He was still living with his family, you see. Track 8. 1.
Hey, Clara.
What is it, Ryan?
Have you seen Kareem this week?
Yeah, I saw him yesterday. Why?
Is he okay? I haven't spoken to him for a while, but the last time I saw him, he seemed a bit down.
I know. I think it's his mum. Apparently, she's quite ill, and he's just very worried about her.
Oh, no. That sounds like a nightmare. What's wrong with her? Is it very serious?
I think it must be. He was quite upset when I spoke to him, and he didn't want to say much.
Oh, dear. That's awful. I feel a bit guilty now that I haven't rung him. I had a feeling something was wrong.
Why?
Well, I met him outside the university with Chris. Chris and I were chatting, but Kareem didn't say much. In fact, he hardly said anything at all.
Really?
And Kareem is normally really chatty.
I know. Well, he probably isn't in the mood to talk to anyone at the moment.
Oh, dear. Well, if you see him, tell him I'm thinking of him. Say hello to him from me.
Sure. 2.
Hello, Alicia. How's it going?
Great, actually, Belinda. I've just finished all my exams.
That must be a relief. How did they go?
Quite well, I think. I was really pleased with how I did.
That's great.
Are you all right? You look as if you need cheering up.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just a bit fed up with the situation with my accommodation.
Oh dear, what's the problem?
I've just found out I can't continue to stay where I am at the moment.
What a pain. How come?
Basically, I need to find something else, and to be honest, I just don't need the stress.
I can imagine. Can I do anything to help?
No, it's okay. I'm sure it'll sort itself out. But thanks.
Well, at least let me buy you a drink.
Okay, that'd be nice.
What would you like?
A cappuccino would be good.
Anything else? A bit of cake? Go on, it'll cheer you up.
Well, I have to say that chocolate cake looks nice.
I think I'll join you to celebrate finishing my exams. Track 9. 1. I can't drink at the moment. I'm pregnant.
Really? Congratulations. When's the baby due?
2.
I'm going to Canada to study English.
Wow, that's great. How long are you going for?
3. I'm afraid I can't meet you tonight.
Oh, what a shame. Are you sure?
4. My brother's not very well.
Oh no. I'm really sorry. I hope it's not too serious.
5.
I've lost my wallet.
Oh no! What a pain. Did it have much in it?
6.
I found my wallet.
Phew, that's a relief. Where was it?
Track 10.
Having seen his Free Hugs campaign attract the attention of the world's media, one man wrote a book called The Illustrated Guide to Free Hugs, became a well-known public speaker, and published his mobile number online, offering to go out for dinner with anyone who contacted him. In the meantime, however, his then friend, Shimon Moore, who had initially posted the video on YouTube, found his band was getting offered record deals. They moved to Los Angeles and started selling free hugs goods at concerts. And that's where it all went wrong. By 2010, the pair had fallen out, with Mann claiming that he hadn't earned any money at all from the sales. He now leads a quiet life, well away from the public eye, while Moore is still promoting the Free Hugs brand. And what a brand it's become. There's now an annual International Free Hugs Day. Free hugs have been used to raise awareness of HIV and AIDS in some countries, while in others the movement is viewed with suspicion and huggers have been arrested. Even though its founder is no longer actively involved, it seems that, in the end, free hugs are about more than one man.
Track 11.
Carla! Hey, fancy seeing you here.
Sorry, but do I know you?
It's me, Robin. From school?
Robin! Wow! Wow! Sorry, I just didn't recognise you. You look so different.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Anyway, how are you? You're looking really well.
Thanks, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I work quite near here. I'm just on my lunch break, actually.
Oh, really? Where do you work?
Just round the corner, actually. I do sales and marketing for a film company.
That's amazing. I'm really pleased for you. You sound like you're doing really well.
Thanks, I'm enjoying it. It's hard work, though. I mean, we're setting up a new website at the moment, so I'm working really long hours. I'm not finishing till 9 most days.
Really? You must be exhausted.
Yeah, but it's fun and I'm learning a lot and the money's not bad either, so I can't complain.
And are you still with your boyfriend? What was his name?
Cass! Yeah, we're engaged now, actually. We're getting married in the summer.
Really? Wow! Congratulations, that's great.
Thanks. Anyway, enough about me. How are you? What are you doing these days?
Me? Oh, nothing much actually. I mean, I'm not really working or anything. I'm just kind of taking my time, thinking about what I want to do,
Okay. And are you still living at home?
Yeah, I am. I can't really afford a place of my own at the moment.
Right. How's your mum? Is she okay?
She's fine, yeah. She's away at the moment, actually. She's staying with her brother on the coast.
Oh, nice.
She remembers you, She still talks about you from time to time.
That's nice to know. Say hello to her from me.
I will, yeah. Anyway, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. We must meet again sometime.
Yeah, let's. Listen, what are you doing this Saturday? Do you want to meet for lunch or something?
Oh, I'd love to, but I train on Saturdays. I'm doing the marathon next month.
Rather you than me.
Oh, I love running. I'm really looking forward to it.
I have to say, that's my idea of hell. But still, good luck with it.
Thanks.
Track 12. 1.
How's your course going? How's your course going?
2.
I'm finding it a lot harder than before. I'm finding it a lot harder than before.
3.
Is she still studying? She's still studying.
4.
She's doing a master's. She's doing a master's.
5.
Is it still raining outside? Is it still raining outside?
6.
It's pouring down. It's pouring down.
7.
I'm meeting an old friend of mine for dinner. I'm meeting an old friend of mine for dinner.
8.
Why is he shouting at everyone like that? Why is he shouting at everyone like that?
Track 13. 1. You look as if you need to go to bed. 2. What are you doing after the class? Do you fancy a coffee? 3. We're going out for dinner later. Do you want to join us? 4. We met when we were working at the same law firm. 5. Sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear. 6. I'd forgotten to put it in my diary. Track 14. 1.
It's about 10 miles out of town.
2.
You can walk along the walls.
3.
It's in the financial district.
4.
It's down by the beach.
5.
It's further along the coast.
6.
You find them all over this area.
Track 15. Hello there. I wonder if you can help me. I'm thinking of going sightseeing today. Can you recommend anywhere good to go?
Well, it depends on what you like. There are lots of places to choose from. What kinds of things are you interested in?
I don't know. Something cultural?
Oh, right. Okay, well, quite close to here is St. Mary's Church. It's Krakow's most famous church, and very beautifully decorated. You can walk there in 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm not really a big fan of churches, to be honest.
That's okay, I understand. Of course, the most visited place near here is Auschwitz. There's a day tour leaving soon.
Actually, we're planning on going there later in the week.
Well, in that case, you could try Kazimierz, the old Jewish quarter, where Steven Spielberg filmed some of Schindler's List. It's actually quite a lively area now. There are lots of good bars and restaurants around there.
Oh, so that might be nice for this evening then.
Yes, maybe. Let me know if you want more information about places to eat or drink there. Then if you'd prefer something a bit different, how about a guided tour of Nova Huta, the old communist district? They'll show you what life was like in the old days there.
Oh, that sounds interesting. How much is that?
About 40 euros. I can call and book a place for you if you want.
What times does that leave?
Every 2 hours from outside the hotel, and the tours last around 90 minutes. They leave at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock.
Okay, that's great. Can you book me onto the 2 o'clock tour? Then I can do some shopping in the main square in town beforehand.
Sure.
Track 16. 1.
I'm thinking of doing some shopping today. Can you recommend anywhere?
Well, you could try Oxford Street. There are lots of big department stores there.
To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of department stores.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, how about Portobello Road? It's a big street market. You can find lots of bargains there.
Oh, that sounds great. I love that kind of thing. Is it easy to get to?
Yes, very. I'll show you on the map.
2.
I'm thinking of doing some sightseeing today. Can you recommend anywhere?
Well, you could try the local museum. That's quite close to here. They've got lots of interesting things in there.
Right. I'm not really into museums, to be honest.
That's okay. In that case, how about going to the Roman ruins down by the lake? There are also some nice cafes, and you can swim there.
Oh, that sounds better. Are they expensive to get into?
No, it's quite cheap. It should only be about $10. Track 17. 1.
In July and August, it's boiling hot here. The temperature regularly rises to above 40 degrees and sometimes even reaches 50, so we often try to get away. We went to Malaysia last year. This year, we're going to Salalah. The weather is wonderful then. Light rain most days, cloud from the sea and cool. It's never much more than 25 degrees. At night, we can even say it's chilly. Wonderful. Such a relief to escape the heat. We're staying in a 5-star hotel, of course. This is important for my family because my mother and sisters spend a lot of time in and around the hotel. But my father and I, we love driving off-road 4x4. At home, we drive in the desert. But the countryside in South Oman is mountainous and so green. It offers something different. So, we'll probably hire a car to do off-road.
2.
The summer's a busy time of year. I work from May through to September, and this year I have to work long hours in July and August. When the season ends, I might take a short holiday, but if I do, I'll probably just go and visit a friend in Lyon. Basically, I'm saving money because I'm going to travel around Vietnam later in the year. I've heard it's best to visit after October because it's still warm but not so humid. Not that the weather is so important. What's important to me is the experience of travel. I went to Morocco last year and I was in the desert near these ancient ruins. I was in a small hostel and it was freezing at night. But the people and place, the experience, it was fantastic.
3.
We've decided we're not going to go on holiday this year. We're just going to stay at home. Last year's holiday was such a nightmare. We rented a small cottage near the beach in Cornwall, but it poured with rain most of the time, and the kids complained so much. Oh, there's nothing to do. My phone's got no signal. Constant. And it wasn't cheap. So, this year, instead of spending the money on travel and accommodation, we're going to spend it on doing nice things here. So, we're thinking of going to a show or two. We might visit Buckingham Palace and the British Museum, which, believe it or not, I've never been to. Maybe a boat trip down the river. And also just relax at home in the garden for a change as well. And the kids want to go paintballing with some friends. And then there are all the great restaurants here. We're going to eat out every night. I don't know why we haven't done it before.
Track 18. 1.
So, what did you do last night, Brenda? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I went to the theatre actually and saw this amazing play.
Oh, really? Which one?
It's called Roots. Have you seen it?
I don't think so. What was it like?
Oh, it was great. A bit depressing, but really interesting. I enjoyed it.
So, do you go to the theatre a lot then?
Yeah, quite a lot, I guess. Maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Wow, that's impressive. I hardly ever go. I can't even remember the last time I went.
2.
Did you have a good weekend, Dummy?
Yeah, it was great. I went sailing with some friends. We went along the coast as far as Guernsey and then came back. And it was boiling as well, so I got a bit of a suntan.
Wow, I didn't know you sailed. How often do you do that?
Not as much as I used to be honest. When I was living in Brittany, I went all the time, but I don't often get the chance now. That's kind of what made it really special, you know.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
No, never, but I'd love to. It looks amazing.
Well, next time we go, I'll let you know. 3.
Are you okay, Frank? You look a bit tired.
I know. I didn't go to bed until 2:30.
Really? Why?
Oh, some friends of mine came over and we sat up late playing cards and talking and stuff.
Oh, really? I play cards sometimes too. Are you any good?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not a professional or anything, but I enjoy it.
Do you ever play poker?
Yeah, quite often, actually. It's my dad's favourite game, so we play together when we meet.
Okay, that's nice. Well, maybe we could play together sometime.
Track 19. 1.
So, do you go to the theatre a lot then?
Yeah, quite a lot, I guess. Maybe 2 or 3 times a month. 2.
I didn't know you sailed. How often do you do that?
Not as much as I used to be honest. When I was living in Brittany, I went all the time, but I don't often get the chance now. 3.
Do you ever play poker?
Yeah, quite often, actually.
Track 20. 1. Do you go swimming a lot? 2. Do you eat out a lot? 3. So do you read much? 4. Do you go to the cinema much? 5. How often do you play games on the computer? 6. So how often do you go to the gym? 7. Do you ever try to read in English? 8. Do you ever watch your favourite team play? Track 21.
What happened there, Rika? Did you just sign that guy's book?
You saw that?
Yeah. It was like you were famous or something.
That's because, I don't know. I guess I am, kind of, if you're a judo fan.
What?
Well, in my other life, away from selling books, I do judo. And last week, I was in a competition on TV. That guy recognized me from there.
Seriously? That's amazing.
Oh, it's no big deal. I didn't win it or anything. I lost in the semi-finals.
You got to the semi-finals. I can't believe it. I mean, no offence, but you don't look big enough to fight.
Well, you fight according to your weight in judo, so size doesn't matter. Although being big isn't always an advantage. It's more about balance. Someone can be big and strong, but if they're off balance, you can easily throw them. I bet I could throw you over.
Hey, I believe you. So, how long have you been doing it then?
Ever since I was a kid. At school, the big kids often used to bully me because I was so small and I got into fights. So my dad suggested I did a martial art to defend myself, and that was it really.
Well, you've kept very quiet about it. I mean, how long have I known you now? 6 years?
Yeah, well, I don't really feel like it's connected to what I do at work, and I don't know. I think it's strange for me to just tell colleagues I'm a judo champion for no reason.
I guess. So, how often do you have to train?
Well, I usually practice all the techniques for at least an hour a day once I get home in the evening. And then 2 or 3 times a week, I go to a special judo school to practice fighting.
Wow. And this competition the other week, what was it exactly? Was it a big thing?
Yeah, it was the women's national finals.
No. And you got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, I've actually won it before, so I'm a bit annoyed I didn't win it this time. But I had quite a bad back injury last year, which stopped me doing any training or fighting.
Really? How long were you out of action?
Well, I didn't do anything for a couple of months, and I only started full training a few weeks before the finals.
Okay. Well, it sounds as if you did well to get to the semi-finals then.
I guess. And the girl who beat me went on to win the whole thing, so still, I hate losing.
Amazing. You learn something new every day.
Track 22. 1,
How long has he been driving?
2,
How long have you been doing that?
3,
How long did you play for?
4,
How long was he injured?
5,
How long did you warm up for?
6,
How long have they been married?
7,
How long's she been learning?
8.
How long have you been waiting?
Track 23.
Do you listen to music much?
Yeah, all the time.
What kind of music are you into?
All sorts, really, but mainly pop music and R&B.
Oh, right. Anyone in particular?
I don't know. Girls rock, Soul Train, stuff like that.
So, have you heard anything good recently?
Well, I downloaded this great song by K-Boy. It's fantastic.
Track 24. 1. How long have you been doing that? 2. I'll probably just stay in and have an early night. 3. I might go to a friend's house and play cards. 4. Not as much as I should, to be honest. 5. How long has he been injured? 6. No, never, but I'd love to. Track 25.
So, what do you do, Amanda?
I work for a mobile phone company.
Oh, yeah? Doing what?
I work in the design department. I'm involved in designing what you see on the screen of the phone. You know, all the graphics and icons.
All right. Sounds interesting. How did you get into that?
Well, I studied graphic design. After I graduated, I worked for a company that designed websites. Then one day I saw Vodafone were recruiting people, so I applied and I got a job. They gave me some training and I just got into it that way.
Okay. So, how long have you been working there?
It must be 7 years now. Wait, no, 8. I was 25 when I joined, so yeah, 8 years. Time goes so fast.
You must enjoy it.
Yeah, I do generally. It's quite varied because they're constantly changing the phones and designs. And of course, it's quite a creative job, which is nice. But you know, it's like any job. It has its boring moments, and the hours can be quite long.
Really? How long?
Well, it depends if we have a deadline to meet. But sometimes I do something like 50 or 60 hours a week.
Really? That can't be easy.
It's actually fine. I mean, it is a bit stressful sometimes, but you get used to it. In fact, I sometimes need that stress to work well. You know, I sometimes work better under pressure.
Really? I can't work like that.
So, what do you do?
Oh, nothing. At the moment, I'm just studying.
Really? How old did you say you are?
30?
Really? You look younger.
Thanks.
So, were you working before?
Kind of. I worked in a law firm 2 years ago, but it was really insecure. When I started, I was basically working for free, more or less. I mean, they covered my lunch and my travel costs, but basically I didn't get paid.
Seriously?
Yeah. And of course, I didn't mind to begin with. I needed the work experience, and they were a well-respected firm. I guess I just expected that sooner or later they'd offer me a full-time job.
And did they?
No, not a chance. There were some vague promises, enough to keep me thinking I might get something, but in the end I realized it was never going to happen.
How long were you there?
Just over a year and a half.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but you know, it happens quite a lot. Anyway, now I'm preparing for government exams so I can get a civil service job. It's much more secure. It's almost a job for life.
Really? That must be very competitive if other jobs are so insecure and badly paid.
Yeah, it is. I think there were 1,000 people applying for 10 jobs last time.
Gosh, well, good luck. Track 26. 1,
That must be quite demanding.
2,
That must be great.
3,
You can't find that very easy.
4,
She must earn a fortune.
5,
That must be really rewarding.
6,
That can't be much fun.
7,
That must be a worry.
8,
You must be doing well.
Track 27. A,
Did you hear about Patrick?
No. What?
Apparently, he's been given a written warning.
You're joking? What for?
He was going on the internet to buy concert tickets and book holidays, and he was always sending personal emails.
Yeah. So what? Doesn't everyone do that? I mean, we're certainly allowed to do it in our breaks.
Well, apparently, you're not allowed to use the company computers like that at all. Not in his company, anyway.
That's a bit unfair, isn't it?
You say that, but actually, what happened to him was he visited some site or other and somehow got a computer virus, and then it infected the whole system. He said the company had to spend a fortune sorting it all out.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, I can see why they might be a bit angry then.
B. Are you thinking of buying that?
Yeah? What do you think?
Very smart. I don't usually see you wearing stuff like that.
No, I know. But I've got this new job working in a law firm.
Oh, really? That's great news. What are you going to be doing there?
Just admin work, really. But they have a strict dress code. You can't even wear smart trousers. You have to wear skirts.
You're joking. Is that legal?
I guess so. They can do what they want, can't they?
You think? What if you can't wear something for religious or health reasons?
I don't know. I guess they make an exception. Anyway, listen. I've been looking for a job for ages, so I'm not going to complain.
C.
Bill, sorry to interrupt, but can I have a quick word?
Yes, of course. What's up?
Listen, I'd like to take the day off on Friday. My son's performing in a school concert.
Friday. I'm afraid that's impossible.
Are you sure?
Sorry, Adam. It wouldn't be a problem normally, but we've got a bit of a crisis this week. Vicky's off sick, and we really have to complete this order by Saturday.
Can't someone else help? Oh, my son will be so disappointed if I don't watch him play. And I do have some holiday left for this year.
I'm sure. But if we're late with this order, we might lose the whole contract.
I see.
You're supposed to arrange time off with me a month in advance, you know.
I know. It's just I've asked you at short notice before and it hasn't been a problem.
Well, as I say, normally it isn't.
Well, I guess that's all. I don't know what I'll tell my son.
I'm sorry. You'll be really helping me and the company.
Track 28. To it. Get used to it. Have to get used to it. I'll have to get used to it. I guess I'll have to get used to it. Track 29.
Hello there. Can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I'm thinking of changing phone companies.
All right. Well, you've come to the right place. Who are you with at the moment?
Blue. But I'm looking to see if there are any better deals around.
I'm sure we can find you something. What phone do you have at the moment?
This one. But they've offered to upgrade it to the S620.
Okay, that's a nice phone. And what are the monthly payments on that?
£30 a month.
Okay, well, I think we could offer you something better. For example, this one, the N570.
Okay, what's the difference? They look pretty similar to me.
Well, with this one, the N570, you get a much better user experience. It's a bit easier to navigate, and as you can see, the screen folds out, so it's about twice the size of your current phones.
Wow, that is nice.
I know! It's impressive, isn't it? It's got a great battery life as well. It uses a lithium-ion battery, while the other phone uses a polymer battery, which isn't as good. It usually needs recharging after 10 hours, whereas the lithium-ion one lasts up to 12 hours longer.
Oh, okay.
And then the camera is much more powerful. So this one is 32 megapixels and has an excellent digital zoom, whereas the one on the S620 is just 15.
Right. And how many pictures can the N570 store?
It holds up to 6,000. That's 3 times the capacity of the S620, though obviously it depends on what else you're storing on there. And, of course, you can always just store all your images in the cloud if you'd prefer.
Okay. And what about sound quality?
Well, the N570 has a fairly large speaker built in on the back here, see? It's about twice as big as the speaker you currently have, so no worries there.
Okay. Well, I must admit, it is a nice phone. I'm tempted. What about calls and text messages? How many can you offer me?
Well, for £45 a month, we could give you 700 free minutes and 400 texts.
400? That's quite a lot less than Blue are offering me.
Well, I'm not sure we can give much more for that phone. What do you get with them?
800 free minutes and 600 texts.
Okay. Well, we could probably match that and still give you the better phone.
Track 30. 1.
I don't like souvenirs like magnets or key rings. They're a waste of money. Better to have something you can consume. My neighbour's Italian, and he gave us this delicious fruitcake. Apparently, it's very typical. Oh, what do you call it? Comes in a box. Oh, panettone. That's it. Anyway, yeah, I also went to Malta recently, and we bought a bottle of drink made from prickly pears. Lovely. We finished the drink in about 2 days, but I kept the bottle, as it was actually perfect for keeping oil in.
2.
My wife's an English teacher, and she gets all kinds of presents from her students. And I know I'm going to sound ungrateful, but I don't want them. One student gave her a present for me. It was a horrible bright silk tie with a picture of the Great Wall of China printed on it. Another time, we had this plastic model of the Eiffel Tower with a light in it. I mean, I'm a designer. Why do I need these things? My wife refuses to throw them away, though, so we keep them in a box under the stairs, and I agree to display one item each month in the kitchen.
3.
One of my friends spent last summer travelling round Europe by train, and she brought me back an apron from Lithuania, I think it was, to wear while I'm cooking. It's the best souvenir I've ever had. It's made from this beautiful hand-woven material, and it has a lovely stripy pattern which she said is typical from there. She's clever because she knows I love cooking, and she's also seen the mess I make when I cook. Maybe I'll look less scruffy now.
4. I visited Greece last year and we went to Athens. As a souvenir, my daughter bought a glass paperweight with an image of the Parthenon inside. She was really happy with it. Then on the way home, the airline lost our luggage. The paperweight was in her bag, so she was upset. But then they found the bags, and when they arrived, the paperweight was there, and it was fine. Big relief. But then she was putting it on her shelf, and she dropped it. Oh dear, she was so upset. She cried for ages. Track 31.
Yes, darling. You like the jacket?
Yeah, it's nice. How much is it?
250.
250? That's very expensive.
Not really. It's top quality, feel it. That's genuine leather. It'll last forever, that will.
Sure, it's nice, but 250?
How much do you want to pay?
Well, I was thinking 50.
50? Come on.
Okay, 100?
100? You're insulting me. I won't make any money like that. Listen, I'll give it to you for 200.
Come on, I've seen similar ones that are cheaper. 150.
Similar, but not as good. Go on then, go and buy it. You're wasting my time. Okay, I tell you what, I'll do it for 190.
160. I don't have much money left.
180, final offer. Take it or leave it. I can't go lower than that. Look, it's perfect on you. You look gorgeous.
It is nice. Okay, 180.
Love, you drive a hard bargain. My wife will kill me if she finds out how much I gave that away for. That's her summer holiday she's losing on that deal. You want anything else? Hand-printed T-shirts? Unique they are. Look.
Track 32. 1,
250.
2. 250? 3. 100. 4.
100.
5. 180. 6.
180.
Track 33. 1,
It must have been very difficult getting a job in the media.
2,
It can't be easy getting by on such a low salary.
3,
Working there is not as bad as you might think.
4,
I don't think I'll ever get used to it, to be honest.
5,
We're allowed to work from home 1 day a week.
6.
This one has slightly better sound quality.
Track 34.
Wow, it's busy today.
I know. It's crazy. I was supposed to take a break an hour ago.
Yeah. I'm going back after I've had this coffee.
Okay. Are you going to the thing for Holly's birthday later?
No, I can't. I have a class.
Oh, yeah? What are you studying?
It's a counselling course for speech therapists.
Oh, right. What does that involve?
Well, you learn basic counselling skills, you know, how to listen and guide people through problems, but it's focused on the kinds of psychological problems people have when they have a difficulty with speaking.
And how come you're doing that?
Well, I did speech therapy at college and, you know, that's still what I want to do.
Oh, right.
So, it'll be good for my CV.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, how's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. It's very practical. I mean, we have some lectures and seminars which are about theory, but most of the time we just practice with each other and a tutor observes us and gives feedback.
So, what about the tutors? What are they like?
Great. They're all very experienced and knowledgeable, but they present things in a very clear way. You know, they're like on our level. They're really good, actually.
It sounds it. And what are the other students like? Do you get on with them okay?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly.
Well, there are 1 or 2 guys that aren't as supportive as everyone else. Like when we do the feedback after the practice sessions, they can be a bit more critical than the others, which is a bit annoying.
I can imagine. You want encouragement, not criticism.
Exactly.
So, how long does the course last? When do you finish?
I think there are 11 weeks left. It's a 6-month course, an evening a week.
Do you have any coursework on top of that? I mean, is it assessed?
Not exactly. You just get a certificate for completing the course.
And to get that?
You have to attend 80% of the classes and do an assignment, which is basically a kind of diary of our counselling sessions. Nothing too demanding.
Okay. So, you don't have to do much reading?
There's a bit connected to the seminars, and you could do more, but I don't have time on top of my workload here.
I bet. So, what are you going to do when it ends?
Well, I might actually do another course once I finish this one.
Wow, you're keen.
Maybe. But as soon as I find a proper job, I'll probably stop doing any studying.
Sure.
I better get back.
Okay.
Track 35. 1. How's the class?
Awful. They just don't pay attention. If I try to explain something, they sit whispering to each other. It's so rude. And then there's one boy who always walks in 20 minutes late. He doesn't apologise. He just puts his mobile on the table, takes off his iPod and his Armani sunglasses, and then he sits there looking bored because he thinks he knows it all. He's got no pen, no paper, nothing. It's really annoying.
I think you need to set some rules. If they talk, send them to the head teacher or give them a detention.
Maybe. I don't want to be too strict.
But you have to be. If you're strict from the start, you'll gain their respect. Obviously, you need to be fair as well. 2.
Are you okay? You look a bit fed up.
I've just got the results of my English test.
Oh dear. What did you get?
A 6. And I needed a 6.5 to do a master's.
Oh no. I'm sorry. But you worked so hard. I was sure you'd get at least a 7.
I know. I was so stupid. I misread one of the questions. That probably lowered my score.
Oh dear. So, what are you going to do now?
It depends. I'm going to ring the course leader and see if they'll accept me with a 6. If they don't accept me on the course, I'll either retake the test or I might look for another master's.
3.
Right, there are a number of things I need to tell you about assessment. Firstly, 50% of your final marks are based on your essays during the course. Because of that, we're very strict on deadlines. If you miss a deadline that your tutor has set, you will be given a 0. No arguments. Secondly, yes?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but what if you have a family crisis or something?
Well, obviously we'll make an exception for certain cases if a close family member is affected. Also, we won't accept any excuses to do with illness unless you produce a doctor's certificate within 2 days of the deadline. Does that answer your question? Good. I should say, while we're on the subject, that if you have any problems which are affecting your coursework, you should contact the Student Counselling Service. Their number is
4.
So, how's Angela doing at a new school?
Oh, much better, thanks. I'm so glad we decided to move her to St. James's. The teachers seem a lot better prepared, and they push the kids. I think Angela was just a bit bored at her last school.
Well, she's a bright kid.
And that other school was quite rough. I was always hearing about fights in the playground, and lots of kids there skip classes on a fairly regular basis as well.
Well, St. James's has a very good reputation.
Yes, discipline is very good there, and I think they look so much smarter in a uniform. Track 36. 1. Know. Knowledge. 2. Analyze. Analysis. 3. Assess. Assessment. 4. Define. Definition. 5. Inform. Information. 6. Interpret. Interpretation. 7. Worry. Worry. 8. Increase. Increase. 9. Refund. Refund. 10. Protest. Protest.
Track 37.
They don't have an English menu, I'm afraid, class. Just a Spanish one.
That's okay. You'll just have to talk me through it.
No problem. Well, for starters, they've got papa rellena. That's balls of mashed potato stuffed with beef, raisins and olives, and then deep fried.
Okay. That sounds very filling for a starter.
It can be, yeah. Then there's anticuchos. That's a bit like a Peruvian kebab. It's sliced cow heart, very tender and juicy, grilled on a stick.
Right. To be honest, Aurora, I don't really like the idea of eating heart. I don't know why, I just don't.
That's okay, no problem. There are plenty of other dishes to choose from.
Sorry. Anyway, what's next? What's ceviche?
Ceviche, that's Peru's national dish. Have you never tried it?
No, never.
Oh, you really should. It's delicious. It's basically raw fish marinated in lime juice or lemon juice and served with the local kind of potato and corn. You get lots of different kinds of ceviche using different fish and seafood.
Okay. Well, I'll go for that, the ceviche. What are you going to have?
The tallarín con mariscos is a kind of spaghetti served with shrimps and prawns and squid.
Sounds great. And what about the main courses?
Well, the bistec apanado, that's steak, sliced very thinly and then fried and served with rice.
Okay.
And then there are two rice dishes, arroz con mariscos, which is rice with fresh seafood. It's a bit like a Spanish paella, but spicier. Then there's arroz con pato, which is rice with duck. The lomo saltado is a kind of steak dish.
Another one. I don't really eat steak very much, to be honest. I tend to find it quite bland.
Bland? Not this one. It's cooked with tomatoes and onions and spices and things. It's really good, honestly.
I'll take your word for it, but I don't really feel like steak tonight anyway.
Okay, well, finally, there's seco de cabrito. It's a kind of a stew with goat meat in, young goat meat, and they serve it with beans on the side.
That sounds very tasty. And quite unusual, too. I'll have that.
Track 38. 1. You know that restaurant in the main street?
What, the one that's always deserted?
That's it, yeah. Well, guess what?
What?
I walked past there this morning, and there were loads of police everywhere outside. Guys with guns, everything.
Seriously? How come?
I'm not sure, but I was wondering if it might be a front for something. You know, some gang using it to wash their dirty money. Maybe what they've made from selling drugs or something.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was. I don't think I've ever seen a single person eating there.
2.
How's your fish?
Oh, it's okay, but I guess it might be better if it didn't have so much sauce on it.
There is a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's really overpowering. I mean, the sauce is quite rich, so it really overpowers the taste of everything else.
Oh dear. Do you want to try some of mine?
Go on then. Here, try some of this as well. It's not that bad. That's gorgeous. That steak is so tender. You don't want to swap, do you?
No, thanks. I think I'll stick with my one. You can have another bite, though.
3.
You won't believe what happened to me last night.
Go on. What?
Well, Jacques took me out to that new organic place up on the hill. You know the one I mean?
No. I guess I missed that.
Oh, it's called Green Revolution. It's been in the papers quite a bit. It's got very trendy decor and they only serve locally sourced organic food, so it's all super healthy.
Okay. It sounds very fancy.
It is. And it isn't cheap either. I mean, you wouldn't go there if you were paying yourself.
Right.
It is lovely, though. It looks out over the valley, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was, we arrived and sat down and asked for the menu, and literally that second, I saw this rat go running into the kitchen.
Ugh, seriously? So, what did you do? Did you leave?
I wanted to, yeah, but Jack just joked and said it must be an organic rat, so it'd be fine.
Really? I'd be out the door in an instant if that happened to me.
4.
When did we ask for the bill?
I don't know. At least half an hour ago.
I know they're busy, but this is ridiculous. I think we should just go.
What? Without paying? Are you mad?
Well, they don't seem to want our money, do they?
Don't be ridiculous. I mean, what would happen if they called the police?
They wouldn't do that. Anyway, the restaurant doesn't deserve the money. I mean, the food wasn't that great.
The asparagus was okay.
Yeah, but the portions weren't very generous, were they? That lamb was much too spicy, and then everything else was just a bit bland.
Yes, but you can't just leave without paying, can you?
No, I suppose not.
Track 39. 1.
I'd complain if that happened to me.
2.
I'd go crazy if I worked in a kitchen.
3.
I'd be in trouble if I had to cook for myself every day.
4.
If they tried to charge me for water, I'd just refuse to pay.
5.
I'd come with you if I wasn't working tomorrow.
6.
I wouldn't eat that, even if you paid me.
Track 40. 1. I would if I could, but I can't. 2. I'll do it once I've done this. 3. I tend not to, no. 4. I think I'd find that off-putting. 5. What if they don't get back to us? 6. That sounds great. I'll go for that. Track 41.
Did I tell you I went round to see Nick and Carol the other day?
No, you didn't. How are they? I haven't seen them for ages.
Oh, they're fine. They said to say hello to you. You know they've moved recently, don't you?
Oh, really? No, I didn't actually. The last time I heard from them, they were still in that place near the centre.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they've moved. I think it was last month. To be honest, they seem much happier now.
Oh, that's good. So what's their new place like? Is it nice?
Yeah, it is. It's okay. It's quite a lot bigger than their old place. The front room is huge. It's about twice the size of this room, and the whole place is pretty spacious.
That must be nice for them, now the kids are growing up.
I know. They said the old place was getting a bit cramped for them all. They wanted separate rooms for the kids. They didn't want them sharing forever. That's the main reason they moved out.
So what kind of place is it? I mean, is it a house or an apartment?
Oh, it's an apartment. It's on the 3rd floor of an old block. It's a little bit run down, and they'll need to do quite a bit of work on it, but they've actually bought it, so they can do what they want to it.
Lucky them. All those weekends spent painting and decorating to look forward to.
I know. I don't envy them. It has got real potential, though. It's got a great kitchen. It's a similar size to yours, maybe a bit bigger. And it's got these lovely old wooden floors throughout. And huge windows, so they get a lot of sunlight coming in, which is great. Then there's a little balcony where you can sit and eat in the summer, and a shared garden out the back where the kids can play and everything.
Oh, it sounds lovely. I must go round and see them sometime soon.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd like that. The only problem is, though, it's not as central as their old place was. It's quite a lot further out, so it takes quite a long time to get there.
Oh, okay.
Track 42. 1,
The other day.
2,
To be honest,
3,
the only problem is
4,
in the attic,
5,
on the 8th floor.
6.
Where's the exit?
Track 43. Are you Shola?
Yeah. Anastasia?
Yes, nice to meet you.
You too.
You found the right stop then.
Yeah. It was all very easy. Is the flat near here then?
Yes, it's just down this side street. I just thought it was easier to meet here.
No, sure. It's very convenient to get around then. I didn't realise it was quite so central.
Of course. I guess that's why it's more popular than it used to be.
Right. What's happening there then?
I don't know. Maybe just an accident.
Really? Because I saw a burnt car on my way here. Seems a bit rough.
No, it's true it was a bit dangerous before, but the authorities did a lot and there's much less crime now. I mean, of course, there can be trouble now, but it was so much worse in the past.
The graffiti's kind of cool.
It is cool. And of course, we have the park and the river.
Yeah?
You like running?
Not really.
Well, it's good for sunbathing then.
Bit chilly for that.
In the summer, though, you can go naked.
Okay.
So, here we are.
Nice building.
Much better now. It's restored. It was falling down before my parents bought the place. It had, I think you call them, squatters. You see all the staircase? It's all been restored.
So your parents bought it? You mean the whole building?
Yeah, it was an investment a few years ago. Property prices have gone up a lot now.
Right.
So, we're on the top floor.
Wait, there's no lift?
No, it's not possible. Almost there. Okay, you're here.
I'm not as fit as I used to be. I guess you must be used to it, though.
Yeah, I'm much thinner than I was. I've lost 30 kilos.
Really?
No, I'm joking. But it keeps you fit, so come in. Here's the living room. We share.
Okay, nice. Oh, great view.
Yes, and this would be your room.
Okay. It's a bit smaller than I expected.
Really? I had another Englishman here who said it was cozy.
That's one word, but not much space if I wanted a friend to visit. Can I have visitors?
I'm afraid not. I want you to myself. I'm joking, of course. It is very small, I think, with visitors, but I can recommend some places nearby.
Okay. Well, the kitchen's nice and big. Is it okay if I cook here whenever I like?
Sure, as long as I'm not preparing something.
Right. That might be awkward.
But there's a microwave. You can do microwave meals.
Hey, nice speakers. You like music, yeah? Would you mind if I played my music in here?
Within reason. Obviously, you can't play rap.
Well, that's okay. I'm not really into...
I'm joking. Of course. I love rap.
Okay. Well, rap's okay. You know, I think I've seen enough.
I'll show you the toilet.
I have a couple of other places to see, so I'd better get going.
Okay. Well, ring me when you've decided.
Sure.
Track 44. 1,
Would it be okay if I have friends to visit?
It depends how long for. It's fine if it's just a few days. 2,
Would you mind if I cooked for myself sometimes?
Not at all, as long as you clean up after yourself. 3,
Do I have to be home before a certain time?
No, not at all, as long as you're quiet if you're back late. 4.
Can I use the washing machine whenever I like?
Within reason. Obviously, I don't want you washing clothes in the middle of the night. 5.
Would it be possible to move a table into my room?
I'm afraid not, no. The 2 we have are needed downstairs. 6.
Is it okay if I play music in my room?
Of course, within reason. Obviously, you shouldn't play it too loud. Track 45.
Do you fancy going out later?
Yeah, maybe. What's on?
Well, do you like horror films?
Yeah, if I'm in the right mood. Why?
Well, there's this Brazilian film on in town that I'd quite like to see. It's got English subtitles, so it should be okay.
Oh, right. So, what's it about then? What's the plot?
Well, apparently it's about zombies taking over Brasilia.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and the special effects are supposed to be amazing as well.
Cool. So, when's it on?
There's a showing at just after 9 and then a late one at 12.
Okay, well, I'm not sure I want to go to the late one. I need to be up quite early tomorrow.
That's okay. The 9:10 showing is good for me.
Where's it on?
The Capitol.
Okay then, great.
Track 46.
So, do you know where the cinema is?
I think so. Isn't the Capitol that one near the river?
No, that's the ABC.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, no, I'm not sure.
The Capitol's in the centre, on Crown Street.
Okay, I don't know it then.
You know Oxford Road, yeah? Well, that's the main street which goes past the railway station.
Yeah.
Well, if you have your back to the station, you turn right down Oxford Road, you walk about 200 metres, and you go past a post office.
Okay.
And the next street after that is Crown Street. The cinema's along there, about halfway down on the left.
Oh, yeah. I think I know the place now. There's a big sweet shop right opposite, isn't there?
That's the one.
Okay, so if the programme starts at 9:10, what time do you want to meet? Shall I just meet you on the steps outside at 9?
Can we make it 8:30? We want to be sure we get a ticket.
I doubt it'll be that busy, but I suppose we could get there a bit earlier. We can always get a coffee before the film starts.
Exactly. Maybe whoever gets there first should start queuing, okay?
Okay, but I don't think we need to worry. I don't think that many people will want to see a Brazilian zombie movie.
Hey, you never know.
Track 47. 1.
You know Columbus Avenue? Well, the restaurant's about halfway down there.
2.
The bus stop is right in front of the main entrance to the station.
3.
You know the post office? Well, St. Anne's Road is the next turning down from there, on the other side of the road.
4.
You know the cinema? Well, there's a car park at the back.
5.
You know the main square? Well, Hope Close is one of the streets off there.
6.
If you have your back to the station, you turn left.
7.
If you're facing the station, the shop will be on your right.
8.
If you're coming down the road away from the station, Church Street's the second turning on the left.
9.
If you're going up the road towards the station and away from the river, Pemberton Road's the second on the right.
10.
When you come out of the building, you'll see the cinema right opposite.
Track 48. 1.
So, how was it?
Oh, it was brilliant. Much better than I thought it'd be.
Really? I'd heard it wasn't that good.
Well, me too, but I actually really enjoyed it.
So, what's so good about it?
Oh, the story, the acting, everything. It's just really funny, and it's quite exciting too. I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't think it'd be anything special.
I know what you mean. You see so many films these days where there's so much advanced publicity, especially from Hollywood. It's all in the papers and everyone's saying, you have to go and see it. And then you go and you just end up thinking it was a bit overrated. It's nice to go to something that actually meets your expectations.
2.
Did you have a good night out? How was the concert?
Oh, we didn't go in the end.
Really? What a shame.
I know. Hans was going to pick me up at 7, but as it happened, he had to finish some work at the office. And by the time we got there was a massive queue for tickets. So we decided we weren't going to get in and we went to a club instead.
Oh, right. So, what club did you go to?
Radio City.
Well, that's supposed to be really good. It's quite trendy, isn't it?
That's what they say, but I hated it.
Really? What was so bad about it?
It was just awful. The people, the music, everything. It's one of the worst clubs I've ever been to.
Really?
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a bit. I mean, it was okay to begin with, but then it got absolutely packed, so you couldn't really dance properly. And it was boiling hot, so you were sweating like crazy. And then they changed the music later to this heavy techno stuff, which I hate. And the drinks were a rip-off.
Oh, dear. Well, maybe you just went on the wrong night.
3.
I'm so tired. I was out late last night.
Really? I thought you said you were going to have a quiet night in.
I know. I mean, I was going to stay in, but Clara phoned, and while we were chatting, she mentioned she had a spare ticket for this play in town, and so I said I'd go with her.
Oh, right. So what did you go and see? Anything good?
Yes, actually. It was called A Man for All Seasons.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that for ages. It's had some great reviews in the papers. How was it?
Brilliant. One of the best things I've seen in a long time.
That's what I'd heard.
Yeah, it's so moving. Honestly, I was in tears at the end. And the whole staging, the lighting, the costumes, everything. It's just really well done.
I'll have to go.
Yeah, you should.
Track 49. 1. I said I'd do it, and I will. 2. I said I wouldn't, but in the end I did. 3. The divorce rate has risen dramatically over recent years. 4. There's been a steady fall in unemployment. 5. Much was said, but little was done. 6. There's not as much crime as there was in the past.
Track 50. 1.
That's a nice photo. Who's that?
Oh, it's a friend.
And is that your cat?
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I know. Mind you, she's lucky she's still alive.
Really? What happened?
Well, when she was a little kitten, she actually got stuck inside the wall of our house.
You're joking. How did that happen?
We're not absolutely sure because we didn't see her disappear, but we think she crawled through a little hole in the floor in our bedroom and then she fell down the gap between the walls.
Oh, no.
Anyway, we were watching TV and we could hear these little cries coming from somewhere, but we were going mad because we couldn't see her anywhere. And then we worked out she was actually inside the wall.
So how did you get her out?
We had to call the fire service in the end, and they basically broke a bit of the outside wall, and they managed to get her out like that. Here, I think I still have a picture.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that sad little face.
I know. I'm glad we found her. 2.
You'll never guess what happened last night.
Go on. What?
Well, I was writing some reports on my computer at home when I suddenly noticed a group of crows looking quite excited. They were all making this dreadful noise, so I went outside to see what was happening.
And?
Well, the crows were chasing a little parrot up and down the street.
A parrot? What was it doing there?
I have no idea. I guess it must have escaped from somewhere. Anyway, it was obviously very scared and cold. I felt really sorry for it, so I chased the crows away. The parrot was then sitting on my neighbour's roof, and I didn't want to leave it.
Yeah? So what happened in the end? Did you catch it?
Yeah, I had to put some fruit and seeds on the ground to tempt it down, and then when it came down, I managed to catch it and put it into a box. We've got it at home now.
Wow, that's mad. Actually, it reminds me of something I saw a few weeks ago. I was coming home from work on my bicycle when... 3.
I really thought I was going to die. Honestly, I hope I never see another crocodile in my life.
I can imagine. That's awful. It actually reminds me of something that happened to me last year in Indonesia.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
Well, I was there on holiday and I decided to spend a few days trekking through the jungle. On the second day, we were walking along a path through the rainforest when, suddenly, these huge lizards came running out of the bushes from all sides. They were enormous, much bigger than me. Everyone ran away, leaving me with 3 of these monster lizards running towards me. I tried to scream, but just couldn't. I really thought they were going to eat me.
Really? That sounds terrifying. So what happened?
Well, luckily, the guides managed to stop the lizards with these big sticks they had, and so I managed to escape.
Track 51. 1.
Oh, they're so cute.
2.
He's so lovely.
3.
He's so annoying.
4.
Their dog is just really out of control.
5.
It smells really bad.
6.
It's just incredibly noisy.
7.
He even lets the cat walk on the table.
8.
He actually kisses the dog and lets it lick his face.
Track 52. 1.
You'll never guess what happened last night.
Go on, what?
Well, I was walking home when I suddenly saw a horse standing there in the street.
2.
I saw something really strange while we were away.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
We saw this whale stuck on the beach.
Seriously? Still alive?
Yeah, it was actually quite upsetting. We phoned the police to see if they could organise help.
3. I was just about to put my shoes on when I found a scorpion hiding in one of the shoes.
Really? What was that doing there?
I don't know. I guess it was just looking for somewhere to sleep. 4. We spent hours trying to persuade the cat to come down from the tree, but it refused to come.
Oh no, that's awful. So what happened in the end?
Well, eventually we gave up, but an hour later it walked into the kitchen looking for its dinner. Track 53.
Obviously, Wilson's story is a tragedy. He had no real idea of the power of nature, and he died because of it. But I don't think he was stupid. Remember his terrible experience in the war. That can affect people in different ways, and maybe those terrible memories are what drove him. Then think about his achievement. Just reaching Everest was really amazing. All those difficulties he overcame, the flight to India, the walk, everything. And he showed skill in learning to fly, and amazing strength and determination. And he did it alone. That's so different to these people who pay to go up Everest. They arrive in helicopters. They carry almost nothing. And they're not just risking their own lives, they risk many lives. If a rope broke, how many people would fall? If a guide got injured, these amateurs couldn't help. And with so many of them, serious climbers have to wait in these really dangerous conditions. And if that wasn't bad enough, they leave so much rubbish on the mountain. Broken tents, ropes, empty oxygen bottles, things that stay there forever in the freezing cold.
Track 54. Now, you might think that countries and regions that are rich in natural resources, such as coal or oil, would have the strongest economies. In fact, though, they often suffer from something called the resource curse. How many of you have heard of this before? Okay, a couple of you. Well, this phrase was first used in the 1990s by the writer Richard Rorty, who argued that having lots of natural resources actually causes problems for the economy. Since then, his theory has been supported by several studies that have found that, yes, there are rich people in these countries, but on average, the typical person in resource-rich countries is less wealthy than in countries with few natural resources. The question is, why? What's happening? Well, I'm going to suggest 4 main reasons: conflict, corruption, value of manufactured products, and instability. So, conflict. Where there are natural resources, there is big money to be made. But where there's big money, there's often big trouble and a fight for control. Local people are often forced to leave their land so that resources can be extracted, and that causes controversy. The anger may be worse because they receive no money for moving, and the profits from the extraction go to foreign companies or other parts of the country. Regions with large reserves may try to gain independence from the rest of the country so that they can control the natural resource. The result can be violent protests, even civil war. And you don't need me to tell you how oil has also caused expensive international wars. Then there's corruption. Profits from mining and drilling often go to politicians and officials rather than helping to build schools or hospitals for local people. Companies may give presents to officials to avoid expensive rules and regulations. I'm sure you know what I mean. Politicians may directly run a mining company or be employed by them on huge salaries. Thirdly, the basic materials like oil or wood are not as valuable as manufactured products made from them, like petrol or furniture. So, if you are a country with few resources, you have to do something else. So, you invest in manufacturing, and then these economies grow quicker than the countries which mainly produce natural resources. Why don't resource-rich countries invest in factories? Well, largely because of corruption and conflict. But it's also because economic instability can reduce investment. Global prices of natural resources vary a lot. If the price falls suddenly, there is obviously crisis. But big price rises are also bad. When resource prices go up, the country's currency also rises. If the currency is high, factories can't sell their products because imports are cheap and exporting is expensive. These risks mean less investment is made, which then makes the economy depend more on the natural resource, which is why it's called a resource curse. Track 55. Not every country rich in resources has suffered, though. A few have managed to become successful, and one of the best examples is the African state of Botswana. The country gained independence from Britain in 1966. It was then one of the world's poorest countries, but 1 year later, diamonds were discovered in the Kalahari Desert. In 1969, the government made an agreement with the South African company De Beers, and today around a quarter of all the world's diamonds are mined there. For over 40 years now, profits have been invested in healthcare, education, and infrastructure such as roads. This investment has made the big difference, but it could only happen because there's a strong democracy and good government, which, according to Transparency International, has the lowest level of corruption in Africa.
Track 56. Creative. Intense. Loyal. Sensitive. Bright. Calm. Ambitious. Charming. Competitive. Direct. Diplomatic. Modest.
Track 57.
Where did you disappear to?
Yeah, sorry. I had to go and phone my brother, Noel. It's his birthday today.
Oh, okay. It's just that you were quite a long time.
I know. I was only going to be 5 minutes, just wish him happy birthday. But once he starts talking, he doesn't stop.
Oh, that's like my mum. She can talk for hours. I sometimes think we could be on the phone and I could go off and have a coffee and then come back and she'd still be talking. She wouldn't have noticed I'd gone.
Right. Well, I'm not sure he's quite that bad.
Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but she is very talkative. Anyway, it sounds like you and Noel get on well.
Yeah, really well. Unfortunately, I don't see him that much now because he's living in the States.
Really? What's he doing there? Is he working?
No, he won a scholarship to study physics.
Wow, he must be clever.
He is. He's really bright, always top of his class. But, you know, he's not one of those intense, clever people. He's really funny and very good with people.
Sounds a great guy. Do you have any other brothers or sisters? I don't think you've told me before.
Maybe not. I've got a younger brother called Greg.
And what's he like? Do you get on well?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't sound too sure.
No, I mean, he's nice and everything. We're just different.
Yeah? In what way?
I don't know. He's just so sensitive. I seem to upset him a lot anyway.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for example, he wants to be an artist, yeah?
Oh, right.
And the other week I saw him at my mum and dad's and he was talking about his big new art project, some kind of installation.
Right.
And I asked, so where and when is this going to be on? And he just got annoyed and went quiet.
Oh?
Basically, because it won't happen. He likes the idea of being creative, but he doesn't want to do the work. I've told him before, you need to be ambitious, push yourself more, or you'll never make any money.
Oh, right.
What?
No, you're right. It's tough being an artist. It's just that...
What?
Well, I guess you get plenty of criticism in the art world, and maybe he doesn't want his sister to be so direct.
Oh, right. So you think it's my fault?
No, I'm just saying...
Whatever.
It's hard. So, are we going for coffee?
I guess. Track 58. 1. Doug.
I met him while doing a summer job in England. We were both working in this cafe. He was in the kitchens and I was a waiter. Our boss was a bit of an idiot. He was really strict. He was always shouting at us and was just horrible. Anyway, we used to go out after work and we'd sit and complain about our boss. We'd talk about the things we wished we'd said to him. Nicholas was always very funny about it.
2. Sandra.
We were dating for a while. I met him when we were studying in Rome on an Erasmus programme. It was a great few months. He was always so much fun and so full of life. We tried to keep the relationship going after he went back to Belgium, but it's difficult maintaining a long-distance relationship. We couldn't afford to visit each other very often, and in the end, we split up. We've remained friends, which I suppose is important, but I sometimes wish we'd stayed together. Yeah, I wish we hadn't split up.
3. Shane.
I met him while I was backpacking. We were staying in a hostel and we had to share a room. We got talking and found we had a lot in common. We ended up spending a couple of weeks sightseeing until I went back to Australia. We kept in touch via email and social media after that, and 2 years ago I moved to Britain. Since then, I've been over to Belgium to see him a couple of times.
4. Brigitte. We met at university. We didn't have much to do with each other at first, as we're so different. I think I'm quite sociable and outgoing, and as you probably know, he's a bit quiet and shy. It's not that we didn't get on at all. We'd see each other in class and in the library and we'd chat a bit. Over time, though, our chats got longer, and then, just before we left university, I asked him out on a date. He looked a bit surprised, but he said, okay, and we'd been seeing each other now for about 2 years. It's a shame it took so long for us to get together, really. 5. Frank.
I met him through a friend, Jeff, who he was sharing a flat with. We all used to hang out together, so I talked to Nicholas and got to know him very well. At some point, I had an argument with Jeff. It was about something stupid, but we basically stopped talking to each other. We're both very stubborn, and I didn't want to be the first to apologize, but of course, neither did he. I regret that, really. I wish we'd managed to sort things out between us, but there you go. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I haven't seen Jeff for years, but I'm still friends with Nicholas.
Track 59. 1,
I wish I'd known.
2,
I wish I'd met him.
3,
I wish they'd told me earlier.
4,
I wish I'd tried harder at school.
5,
I really wish we hadn't moved house.
6,
Honestly, I wish I hadn't said anything.
7,
I wish I hadn't gone to the meeting.
8,
I sometimes wish they'd given me a different name.
Track 60. 1, I used to, but I don't anymore. 2, I tried it, but I really wish I hadn't. 3, I'd go there all the time when I was a kid. 4, they found it again 2 days after it had been stolen. 5, I could see it from the hotel, but didn't manage to visit. 6, we couldn't use the pool because it was being cleaned.
Track 61. 1.
Thanks for picking us up. It's really kind of you.
That's okay, it's no problem. So, how was your journey?
Oh, quite stressful actually. It's a relief to finally be here.
Oh no, what happened? You weren't delayed or anything, were you?
No, it wasn't that, thank goodness. But everything else that could go wrong did. To begin with, we almost missed the flight because Andre didn't want to spend too long hanging around at the airport.
I've already said I'm sorry.
He said we'd be okay if we got there an hour and a half before takeoff, but there was a huge queue at the check-in desk and then another one going through security. So in the end, we only just caught the flight.
How come it was so busy? It's not really the holiday season.
Exactly. They were doing extra security checks for some reason.
Oh, right.
Whatever. If we'd been there earlier...
Okay.
Anyway, the flight was dreadful too.
Awful. We hit a big storm coming over France and it was so bumpy.
Honestly, at one point, I thought we were going to crash.
I was sweating.
That sounds terrifying.
It was. I don't want to go through that again, I can tell you.
Me neither.
I'm sure. What do you want to do now? Do you want to go and get something to eat, or do you want to check in at the hotel first? 2. Hi, there you are. I was starting to worry.
Yeah, sorry I'm so late. I had a bit of a nightmare getting here.
Oh, really? How come?
Well, to begin with, it was still dark when I set off.
Really? What time did you leave?
6. And then it immediately started to pour down, so the roads were really slippery.
Oh, I hate driving in the rain, especially in the dark.
So do I. That's probably why I took a wrong turning. I got completely lost and ended up going round in circles for ages. I couldn't work out where I was or where I was going. Then, when I finally got back onto the right road, I almost had an accident.
Seriously? What happened?
Oh, it wasn't anything bad. It was just this stupid guy in a big expensive car who drove straight across me. I had to brake to avoid hitting him. I wasn't hurt or anything, but I did have to stop and park the car for a few minutes to calm down.
Oh, you poor thing. That's awful, but that's male drivers for you. Track 62. 1.
What was the weather like in Peru? Was it hot?
No, it wasn't actually. We arrived at night and it was freezing. Then during the day, it was still chilly and cloudy.
Oh dear.
I wish I'd taken some warmer clothes. I only had t-shirts and one thin jacket.
Oh no.
It was stupid. I should have thought more carefully before setting off. I knew we'd be in the mountains and could have checked the forecast.
I guess. But South America, you assume it'll be hot.
Exactly. It's silly, really. Anyway, we still had an amazing time. 2. Hello?
Hello, Mum. It's me, Alan.
Oh, hello. I was worried. Did you arrive safely?
Yeah, sorry. We got here late. That's why I didn't phone.
Oh, right. So is everything okay? Are you both well?
Yeah, fine. Except for the cockroaches in the hotel.
Cockroaches?
Yeah, we stayed in this little place last night and the room was filthy.
That's horrible.
We were silly. We should have looked around more, but because we got here so late, we just chose the first cheap place we came across.
Oh, Alan.
Don't worry. We'll check the place out better next time.
I hope so. 3.
How was Greece? Nice and hot?
Yes, it was. It was boiling.
Lucky you. I bet that was nice.
It was, but I did get sunburnt on the first day.
Oh no!
It was really hot and I was sunbathing and just fell asleep. The next day, my skin went purple. It was horrible.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, it was my own fault. I shouldn't have stayed in the sun for so long, especially with my skin. I should have at least put on some sun cream. 4.
Hello, sir. Are all 3 of you flying together to Prague?
Yes, that's right.
In that case, I'll just need to weigh your bags.
Sure.
I'm afraid you have to pay an excess baggage charge of €100 on this bag.
What? But there are 3 of us. The baggage allowance is 15 kilos each.
I'm sorry, sir, but the rules are very clear. The maximum for any one bag is 15 kilos, and this one weighs 25. You can transfer some weight to your hand baggage if you like.
How can we fit 10 kilos in there? It's tiny.
Well, in that case, you need to pay the excess.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but it really isn't my fault. The ticket conditions are very clear. I'm afraid you have to go back to the desk over there and pay the excess.
But the queue's huge.
I told you we should have bought another suitcase.
I just thought it would be easier with 2.
€100! That's such a rip-off.
Track 63. 1.
How did you find the museum? It was absolutely packed when we went.
It was busy, but it wasn't too crowded. 2. You must be angry they've lost your luggage.
Yeah, I am. I'm absolutely furious.
3.
You must be exhausted after such a long journey.
I am a bit tired, but I actually slept on the plane for a while. 4. You must be hungry after such a long journey.
I am. I'm absolutely starving. Have you got anything to eat?
5.
How was the journey back? Did you get wet in that storm?
We got absolutely soaked. I didn't have an umbrella or anything. 6. Did you like the food? I thought it was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it was quite tasty, but I've had better.
7.
The place we stayed in was a bit dirty.
A bit? It was absolutely filthy. I couldn't believe it. 8. I've heard Tabriz is a very interesting city.
Yeah, it is. It's fascinating. It has so much history.
Track 64. 1.
Hello, help desk.
Yeah, hi there. I wonder if you can help me. I've just turned on my computer and found that the internet's down.
What? No, all of it? That's a disaster.
What?
Oh, nothing. Just my little joke. Have you checked all the connections? Maybe something's not plugged in properly?
I think everything's okay, yes. 1 minute. Let me just have one more look. Yup, I've just checked all the plugs and sockets again, but it hasn't made any difference.
Well, in that case, there's probably an issue with the cable then. I'll come down and have a look in a bit, okay?
2.
Hello, IT.
Hi. I've got a bit of a problem. My computer crashed this morning, and when I turned it back on, all the folders I keep my files in had disappeared from the screen.
Okay. Well, you must have backup copies somewhere, right? On an external hard drive or in the cloud?
I'm afraid not. It's stupid of me, I know, but I always forget to copy them.
Right. Well, in future, you might want to think about backing up more often. Have you tried rebooting at all?
What does that mean?
Turning it off and turning it on again.
Oh, okay. I need these things in plain English, you see. But yes, I have, and it didn't do any good.
Okay. Have you tried searching for specific files by name?
No, not yet. Should I?
Yeah. Try that and see if anything comes up.
3.
Hello, help desk.
Hi there. I've got a bit of a problem down in accounts. I'm trying to print some files, and every time I go to select print from the drop-down menu, my cursor just turns into that spinning wheel of death thing, you know, that circle that just goes round and round and round. I move it away with the mouse, and it stops and goes back to normal. Honestly, it's driving me mad.
Okay, that's a very specific problem. I'm not sure I've dealt with anything like that before. I think you may have got a virus. Have you run a security scan?
No, I haven't, but I could if you think it'll help.
Yeah. Try that and see what happens. It should find any unwanted software that's hiding away in there, and it'll give you greater protection in future if you need it as well.
Okay.
Otherwise, let me Google it and see what I can find.
4.
Hello, IT help desk.
Hi, Bob. It's me. Martin again, I'm afraid.
Let me guess. Password problems?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just hopeless at remembering these things. What is it now? 3 times this month?
At least. But don't worry, you're not the worst offender.
It's the age we live in. I've got more passwords than I have friends.
I'll reset it for you and email you a new one in a minute, okay?
Thanks.
Have you tried that app, by the way? I think it's called All My Passwords.
No.
Well, try that. It might help. Otherwise, you might need to get some more memory installed.
Track 65. 1.
Have you tried downloading it?
2.
Yeah, but I didn't have any success.
3.
Maybe you should tell her.
4,
Okay, I'll try that.
5,
Otherwise, I don't know what else to suggest.
6,
I've tried, but it didn't make any difference.
7,
Okay, well, have you looked on the internet?
8,
No, not yet. Do you think I should?
9.
Otherwise, you're probably best doing an actual course somewhere.
Track 66. The computer and video games industry has experienced remarkable growth. Worth around $25 billion around a decade ago, interactive entertainment now generates well over $100 billion a year worldwide, a figure which is only going to rise in the coming years. The industry is home to many different occupations and employs hundreds of thousands around the world. Video games can cost as much to produce as major Hollywood movies and can earn much more. 2014's Destiny, for instance, cost $500 million to develop, twice as much as any film made that year. But apparently, following its release, the game made that money back in just one day. Yet many still see gaming as child's play, and the industry still struggles to be taken seriously. With over 1.2 billion people now playing games, 700 million of them online, perhaps it's time to reconsider our ideas of who gamers are and why they spend so much time and money on their passion. Track 67.
Welcome to another 3J's podcast, Totally Great or Total Rubbish. For those joining us for the first time, me, Jermaine, and my friends James and Jody review random stuff chosen by listeners and decide if they're totally great or total rubbish. That's it. No maybes. It's all or nothing. You're either grade A or a hopeless fail. So, first up, it's me with Cry for Help, an app to scare off attackers. Okay, imagine walking home at night. Someone's following you, a robber or worse. You open the app and... Help! No one's going to attack you with that screaming in their ear.
Come on, what's wrong with using your own voice?
You haven't had that dream where you want to scream but nothing comes out?
It's a dream, right? Not reality.
They might cover your mouth.
Or smash your phone.
True.
Apart from that, some creep's considering robbing me, right? So I pull out a £500 phone and start searching through my apps. You don't think he might be more tempted to rob me?
She has a point.
It's rubbish.
Good for scaring your little brother, though.
Help!
No maybes. Total rubbish.
Okay, a hopeless fail. So, James, what about your universal translator?
Yeah, basically, it's an app that allows you to speak in a foreign language you don't know. You just say the words in English, and the app plays a spoken translation with the correct accent.
Wow, sounds cool. Having something like that on your travels has to be good, no?
It's good in theory, but it's difficult to know if the translation is accurate. So I asked a Chinese friend to try it out with me.
Any good?
Well, some were okay, like hello, goodbye, can I have a coffee, stuff like that.
Cool.
But I did try and say, your mum's nice, and apparently it said, I like your cow.
Dude, I'm not sure what's more embarrassing, the translation or saying your mate's mum is nice.
She made us cookies.
Okay.
Whatever. What about the other way round?
Oh, it only recognises English at the moment.
So you ask the way to the bank, but you can't follow the directions. Hardly a universal translator.
True, but it is half the problem sorted in 12 languages. And the other people could point. They might even take you there.
And if they try and attack you on the way, it could translate this.
Help!
Exactly.
Saves you having to learn a language.
I'd say it's totally great.
Okay, you win.
Universal translator, we are agreed. You are totally great. Which brings us to Jody and the remote lock.
So, you install this lock, and then you can use the app on your phone to lock or unlock it from anywhere. Australia, if you wanted to.
Why on earth would you want to open a door from the other side of the world?
Well, if you're travelling and you want to get into it.
Track 68. 1. I need it to fix this with. 2. You should have told me. 3. You shouldn't have done that. 4. If I'd known, I could have done something about it. 5. Being the boss's daughter made working there quite hard. 6. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all again. Track 69. 1. Hello, Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
I'm sorry, have you been waiting long?
About 2 hours.
I'm sorry, we're quite busy today. You've done something to your ankle.
Yes.
It's quite swollen. Does this hurt?
Yeah. It's very painful.
Can you put any weight on it at all?
No. It hurts too much.
And how did you do it?
I was just coming out of the hotel, and I slipped on the stair, and my ankle,
You just fell over on it. Nasty. Well, I think we should do an X-ray. It might just be badly sprained, but it could be broken. You'll have to wait again, I'm afraid. We've been a bit short of staff lately. I'll ask the nurse to give you something for the pain.
Good. How long will I have to wait for the X-ray?
Hopefully it won't be more than half an hour. Are you on any medication?
I take something for my asthma.
That's fine. Have you ever had any adverse reactions to any painkillers, paracetamol or anything?
No, never.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll get the nurse to give you something and then take you down for the X-ray. 2.
Hello.
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 Take a seat. What seems to be the problem?
It's my boyfriend. He's been up all night throwing up. He's hardly slept. He had a high temperature, 39, and his heart was beating really fast.
And how long have you been like this?
Sorry, he doesn't speak much English. He first said he felt a bit sick yesterday afternoon, and then he threw up about 7, and he hasn't really stopped since.
Oh dear. Any diarrhea?
Actually, no, none.
And has he been able to drink anything?
No, that's the problem. When he drinks water, he's sick again.
Right, well, let's have a look. Can you just take off your jumper and sit up here? Open your mouth and stick your tongue out. Lovely. And now take a deep breath. Again, breathe in and out. Just lie down. I'm going to press quite hard. Does it hurt? And here?
It's okay.
Maybe a bit uncomfortable, but no pain?
Yes, no pain.
Okay, you can put your jumper back on. I think it's viral gastroenteritis, so there's no need for antibiotics. I'll give him an injection to stop the vomiting, and then he just needs to rest and take lots of fluids. Okay? Any questions?
No, I don't think so. I'll explain to him.
Track 70. How was your holiday? You went mountain biking in Austria, didn't you?
That's right. It was great, except for James's accident.
Why? What happened?
Well, we'd been cycling in the mountains round Kaunertal, and we were going back to the hotel down this steep road. James went round this tight bend too fast, and he went off the road into some bushes and fell off. It was horrible.
It sounds it. Was he badly hurt?
Well, we thought so. We were worried that he'd maybe hit his head because he kept asking us where he was and what had happened. He just seemed really confused. At one point, actually, he even asked if we'd met somewhere before.
Really?
Yeah, and we could see that his knee was very swollen as well. He also had quite a few cuts and bruises and was bleeding quite a bit. The problem was, though, we were still miles from the next village.
So, what happened? How did you get him to a hospital?
Well, luckily, we were actually on a road and a car came past a minute or two later. It stopped, and the woman driving said she'd take James to the nearest hospital. He kept saying he'd be okay, but she insisted. And in the end, we managed to get him to go, just to be safe. We got him into the car, and she took my mobile number and promised to call me once there was more news.
Wow, that was nice.
I know. It was really kind of her. Anyway, we then cycled back to our hotel and waited to hear from the hospital.
And did they call?
Yeah, they did. After a couple of hours, they rang and told me they'd given James an X-ray and there was nothing broken and nothing wrong with his head. But they said he needed to stay there a bit longer, as he was waiting to have a few stitches in the cuts.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I know. In the end, he spent the rest of the holiday hanging around the hotel. He was desperate to go out with us, but the doctors told him not to cycle for a week and to rest the knee. It spoilt his holiday, really.
I bet.
And, on top of all that, I spoke to him yesterday and he said he's going to have to buy a new bike now because of the accident. He's found out the bike frame's broken.
Ouch. That actually reminds me of something that happened to some friends of mine when they went camping in Croatia. Track 71. 1.
Did you see that thing in the paper about Shani Wilson?
No, what was that?
Well, you remember she got married last September, right?
Yeah, they were at that film premiere recently. He's that short blonde guy.
Exactly. Well, she's just announced they're splitting up.
Wow, that didn't last long, did it?
Apparently, she found out that he's having an affair with some other Hollywood actress.
So, did he get much of her money? 2.
Did you see that thing on the Times website about the steel plant closing down?
You're joking. Doesn't your friend Jim work there?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him yet.
So, how come it's being shut down? Has the company gone bankrupt?
No, apparently they're doing quite well. They even promised to expand last year.
So, how come...
The usual. It was taken over and the new management claim it's too expensive to run. They're moving production abroad.
That's terrible. So, how many people are going to lose their jobs? 3.
Did you see that thing on TV about that murder in town?
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it? How can someone stab someone to death in a crowded place like that in the middle of the day and then get away?
I know.
Apparently, no one offered to help the victim or did anything to stop the guy who did it.
It is bad, but then again, what would you have done?
4. Have you heard the news?
No? What?
The deputy president's resigned.
Really? Why's that?
Haven't you been following the story? He's been accused of doing all kinds of things. Like, apparently, he took illegal payments connected to that new national sports stadium.
Right.
Not that he's admitted doing anything. He just apologized for causing the government difficulties.
Right. So what else has he been accused of?
5.
Did you see that thing in the paper about Real Madrid wanting to sign Geraldinho?
I know. It's bad news for our team, isn't it? Apparently he's refused to play in any friendly matches before the start of the season.
Well, that's that then. This is going to be a terrible season. We needed to buy a top midfielder, not sell one.
Well, Real are supposed to be offering 40 million, which will help.
Maybe. But who are we going to get to replace him?
Track 72. 1. Have you seen that thing on Twitter about that tennis player, James Jenkins?
Yeah, what an idiot. Apparently it's been retweeted 1 million times already.
2.
Have you seen that video on YouTube of the Prime Minister trying to dance to hip-hop?
Yeah, it's so funny, isn't it? Apparently, it was from before he went into politics, though. 3. Did you see that thing on TV about them building a new airport?
Yeah, it's good news, isn't it? Apparently it's going to create 1,000 jobs.
4.
Did you see that thing on the news about the murder near here last night?
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? Apparently the victim was quite young. 5. Did you see that thing on the Times website about Shani Wilson getting arrested?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? The media are obsessed with that woman.
Track 73. 1.
Who's the statue of?
That's Garibaldi.
Garibaldi?
You've never heard of him?
No, I don't think so. Who was he?
He was a military leader in the 19th century who helped unify Italy. He's like a national hero. He fought in South America as well. He was part of the liberation struggles in Brazil and Uruguay. I think his first wife was even Brazilian. I'm surprised you haven't heard of him.
Well, I'm not really interested in history.
2. You've been away, haven't you?
Yeah, I went to Germany as part of a Comenius project.
Comenius project.
Yeah, it's a European Union scheme which provides grants to teachers so that they can go on courses or set up partnerships with other schools abroad.
Sounds interesting. I've never heard of it. Why Comenius then? What does that mean?
He was a Czech writer who wrote about education. Apparently, he's seen as the father of modern education.
Oh, yeah? I've never heard of him.
Well, to be honest, neither had I before I went on his course. He sounds incredible, though. He was writing in the 17th century, but even then he was arguing for education for both boys and girls.
Really? Wow, that was very radical.
Yeah, and he was against just learning by heart, you know? He wanted kids to learn by actually doing things, and he encouraged them to think for themselves. He was really ahead of his time.
He sounds it. 3. So, what are you gonna do while you're in Brussels?
Work mainly, but I'm hoping to go to the Eddie Merckx metro station while I'm there.
Really? Why do you want to go there?
It's where they have Eddie Merckx's bike, which he used to set the owl record.
What? What are you talking about?
Eddie Merckx? He's like the greatest cyclist of all time. They named the metro station after him, and it has all kinds of memorabilia there.
Oh, right.
You've never heard of him?
No. And you're not planning to go anywhere else, like the Magritte Museum?
Magritte?
The surrealist painter. He was the guy that did pictures of office workers raining down from the sky.
It doesn't sound familiar.
Ceci n'est pas une pipe.
Sorry, you've lost me.
You must know it. It's one of his paintings. It's a picture of a pipe, and underneath it says, "This is not a pipe," in French. You'd recognize it if you saw it. It's really famous.
Yeah, well, so is Eddie Merckx, but you didn't know him.
Track 74. 1.
I've been under a lot of stress lately.
2.
Hopefully, it's just an upset stomach.
3.
They asked if I was allergic to anything.
4.
He's never apologized for saying what he said.
5.
It didn't happen during the time that I worked there.
6.
She's been accused of stealing money at work.